Hello, and thank you for joining us today. This is a demonstration of our smarter proof of delivery. We'll be covering several different portions of the experience. We'll be looking at this from the warehouse manager's view using the dashboard, what they see as an overview of the process and what's happening throughout the day. We will be looking at the driver experience on the mobile device and then also the client's experience via email or text communication. So the first thing we see here is the dashboard. In the dashboard view, this is a fully customizable. It could be altered. This is a very common setup that most of our users tend to desire, but it could be changed depending on what your needs are. This has some customizations in it from the original iteration. But if we look at this, you'll notice that we have things like the company that's shipping the project or the product. In this case, we're referring to that as division. So you might have a company that has multiple divisions. In our case, we're using this here to indicate the company. Then the dispatch location, so you might have more than one of these. The load number, we see we can click there for the map, which we'll show in a bit. And then the drop number, so they might have multiple drops along the way. Then the BOL number, so if we want to click into the details about the delivery itself, we can see that here. Then the ship date, the ship to, the status, or the disposition of the delivery, then the delivery date, and the driver assigned to the delivery. So we'll be diving into the details of the dashboard, but before that, we might be thinking to ourselves, well, how does this information get into the system? And that can happen in a multitude of ways. The solution can ingest data from any system in a variety of formats, such as CSV, XML, direct database connections, etc. It can even ingest data from print spool files, so we can capture a print stream on its way to a printer, pull that data, potentially still allow it to print if needed, and then also ingest it in order to create the delivery documents and fill the system with appropriate data. To show data coming into the system, I'm going to pull up the server here, and I'm going to bring in a particular file to show something along the lines of a database drop or an XML or what have you. In this case, we have this one set up to run on CSV, but you can see we've got new items arriving. If I come back over here, you can see Jason Davis. Now you'll notice these are blue, the color indicator on here. That's saying that these are being prepared for shipment. Once they're in transit, meaning that the driver has downloaded these, which I'm going to do now on a device. You can see because we have the devices set to automatically download, these have changed to gray. As soon as the device was logged into, the mobile device automatically downloaded the files. And so now those have been downloaded and they are technically in the in-transit state. Now, as soon as that starts to happen, other things are happening in the background. There are emails that are being sent out to clients to let them know that deliveries are on their way, etc. So there's a number of things that are going on for each of the user types that experience the solution. The warehouse manager is seeing updates. The driver is experiencing new forms downloading onto the tablet. And then the user, the recipient, is receiving email notifications about updates. Okay, so let's take a quick look at some of these other capabilities inside of the dashboard. So before we dive into the driver or the client experience. So one of the first things we notice is that if I wanted to, I can see that I've got a few different people that have done some things here. So I've got like Billy Bob. Let's go take a look at, see what's going on with Billy Bob out in the field. We'll click on the load link. So on the map, we can see the location of the distribution center. We can see the location of Billy Bob's truck and the two deliveries, and we notice they're in different colors. And so we're actually indicating some information about these. If we click on it, we actually get some additional information. So we can dive into those things. We can see exactly who it was, just in case I forgot. See which distribution center that was. I can also see for the drop, I've got some information about this and the BOL number that's associated, who that was. And if I close these, you can see the different customer on this one as well. So now these are not links. Technically, they could be turned into links to make them do more too. So if you needed to dive into that further, you could. But we have that ability back from the other side in the main portal. And this over here, the text section, we're going to look back at that in a bit, but for now, we're going to jump back over to the portal. So I mentioned a second ago, if you wanted to dive into the details for the deliveries, we typically do that from here. You may or may not need to look into the load space, but typically when you do, you're not looking for the delivery detail at that location or in that moment. You're normally doing that as a separate effort. So here we'll dive into one of these. Let's take a look at a clean delivery really quick. So what this is going to load is basically a view of what the document looked like from a mobile perspective, but it's showing it in a web view. So what we can see here is that this delivery was clean. There were no issues. There's no extra comments, none of that. Now we don't see a signature. And the reason for that is that this is the mobile version of it. When we click on the PDF, this is actually the final output. So this is going to load the document itself, and you can see if I scroll down, there's our signature down at the bottom, delivered in full, no issues. So now I'm going to click back to dashboard, and let's look at a different delivery. So Billy Bob also delivered one that has this yellow marker which says delivered with exceptions. So let's take a look at that. And in here we can see that we've got some adjustments. There was 0 delivered on this one here. There was 1 order but 0 delivered. We can see the item exception. It says broken item and there's a picture associated with it. I can even click on the picture and it can show me that there was something that happened with that. It was an issue. Additionally, I can click on the attachment here again and pull that up and see it from this. And in addition, let's say that this, I see this and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I think there might have been an issue for this person in the past. I might want to let, say, customer service know about that. I'm going to go back to the dashboard real quick and do something else. Here I have POD history. So what this is, this links to our content management system. This is going to load up. And if I haven't logged in, I'll need to log in real quick. And when this pulls up, I can see I've got proof of delivery. I can have a multitude of other documents over here. In a real system, you're going to have a lot of different documents available for search. In this case, though, I'm going to pull this up, and I can enter in information about the customers if I want to drill down. So let's do that. Put in Naders. There you go, and it found this in the system. I'm going to do a quick search, and so I've got a number of different documents that came up with these, and obviously we do this demo a lot, so there's a lot of these in here. And there you go. You can see I pulled up my document, and this is the one that had the issue. But I can also see that there were other documents in the system. So if I need to do additional research on that, I can certainly dig into it. But you can see that one of the really powerful elements of that portion is that you can have any of the other documents associated as well. So you could really dig into quite a bit more if it was necessary to figure out the other impacts to this client. So, well, man, this is an issue because we can see that there's additional delivery problems that have happened in the past. So maybe we want to get somebody on customer service involved. So that's a pretty big value if you're trying to focus in on challenges that happen during the delivery process and how it might affect your clients. Okay, so now to jump over to the driver experience, I'm loading Air Server. There we go. Jump into the app, and we can see here I've got several documents that I've downloaded. I'm just going to take the first one here. And first things first, I'll show that this is a mobile form, meaning that it's mobily optimized. These elements are floating around each other, right? So they're changing positions and whatnot. So I can alter the way this lays out. So I'm going to, the other thing that we can do, although this form doesn't have it set up, is on the ship to, we can make that a link so that it jumps to your maps. I just didn't have that set up on this one, but it can certainly be done. Now in this case, I'm just going to go through and you can see here I can alter these. I have it defaulted right now for the delivered items to be the same. That's so we can do quick deliveries and make it very quick to get through the form. I'm just going to come down here. Go. And throw a signature on that. And then I'm going to put my email in. And then I'm going to submit. Now watch this. Okay, so when this happens, notice that the icon, this icon's really important. What that's telling us is that it's trying to submit the data back. If you were out in the field and had no connection, it would stay in that orange or yellowish state, depending on which kind of device you're viewing it on. And then it would only change to green when you got a good connection. So if you're, down in the bowels of a building doing a delivery and there's no internet, it's still gonna function. And then when you get out and get a new connection, it's gonna transmit the data then. So that's something that you'll notice on the system. The next one I'll do here, I'm just gonna do two of these real quick. I'm just gonna scroll down here. And then for this one, I'm gonna say this first item had an issue, and I'm just gonna choose the item here. And you can notice as well, see the part number is the only thing that's showing. Let's pull this up real quick and look. Now, if I turn it sideways, it's expanded and you can see it. That's so that we're not compressing things and shrinking the size too much for the user, so that things stay the same size. So it's about being optimized in terms of the form's use. So now I'm gonna scroll down here and I can take a picture, much like what you saw before, my sad box. I'll use that photo and then I can write on it. This time instead of blue, let's change and use red. This guy's not happy. Something's up with his box. And I can add additional notes. Rush order. There we go. And you can see the system already knows delivered with exceptions. I didn't have to tell it that. It figured it out because of the disposition of the elements in the form. And then I'm going to put my sad face here again. There we go. Enter my email, paste, and submit. All right, so that'll do the same thing. Now, I'm not going to do that last form for a minute. Let's jump back. All right, now back in the dashboard, this is where it's really interesting, right? So this is Jason Davis's, this is the user I'm logged in as right now. You can see we've got the disposition of these has been updated. Now let's just jump into one of these and take a look like we did before. So this is what's happening back on the system. And remember, I showed that I did that in red, and there you go. So this is already coming back. We've also already got a PDF here, okay, showing my final output, my indications, the indication in red there. There's my signature. Back here, it's shown that there was a change in the item, and it's indicated that in red, and then we've got this yellow badge. All of that is happening at the same time. Also, if I was to jump into my document system again, take a look at that. Take a look at this top one, which should be the same. There you go. So this is what I was saying. You can see the document got saved in there with all the other documents automatically. So nothing additional needed to be done for that. So really powerful in terms of keeping track of everything. That system also has the ability to do quite a bit more. We do a separate demo for that, but it can do bundling, it can do distributions, it can do quite a bit. So we could certainly dig into that if you like as well. That's our smarter CMS. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at the client experience. So during the demonstration, I mentioned that when the forms come in, there are emails that get sent out to the client to let them know that their shipments are on the way. Additionally, when forms are completed, we see that the documents are sent via email to show the state of the document or the state of the delivery after it's completed. So let's take a look at the notification emails that come out first. So here we see this one is letting them know that they're stop number one, and it gives them the ability to track their delivery. Now, of course, we delivered delivery number one already. So if we click on this, we get an update showing that it's been fully delivered, shows where it's from, tells us a little bit more. You were stop one on this load number, etc. So if they did need to contact the facility, they could do so. Then next, let's go back and take a look at a different one. This delivery is the one that we did not deliver during the demo. Click on the track delivery here, and we should see that the state of the delivery is different. And sure enough, we can see that it says it's on its way. Again, giving us stop information, tells us that our package should be delivered between X and Y. And right now I have this showing something akin to military time, but we have the full formatting controls over that. Then that is the tracking emails to give you a sense of those. Now, perhaps on this one, maybe we want to actually reply and say, you know what? And this currently says no reply because it's a demo, which is fine. But we're going to say, please reschedule our delivery and just send. So back in the portal here, let's find Jason's deliveries. Okay, so here we go. So we can click on the load, any of the loads, to be able to communicate with Jason. So when this pulls up, again, we see the map. This time the map is for Jason, so it looks a little different. But what we need to do is we need to communicate with him. Hey, Jason, your last stop rescheduled for tomorrow. Here we go. We'll wait to hear back. Okay, so Jason replies here, good timing actually. The check engine light just came on. Really? Yes, no issues till now though. The truck has been driving fine. Any ideas what it could be? No, I don't see anything specific. Should I stop by service center before returning to the warehouse? Yes. Head straight to service. Oops. There we go. Okay, so what we're seeing here is, okay, got it. It can head there now. Keep you posted on the repair. Thanks. Okay, so the point here is that we created the ability to communicate directly with the drivers from the portal. Why? Because how this normally happens is via mobile device, right? The manager gets out his mobile phone and he messages the driver. Now the problem with that is, what if that warehouse manager is not there, right? You don't have an easy way to track the messaging either, right? If Tim is the current warehouse manager and he steps out and now somebody else is helping and they're watching the system and they're communicating with the driver, those messages get spread out all over the place and they're not traceable. In this scenario, everything's going through a single point of communication so that we have the ability to track that. We can even turn these logs into PDFs or other records and push it into the content management system for storage as well for later retrieval. So we can do quite a bit with that. But the key part here is that during the process, while this is happening, you have live communication with Jason. So then we can go back to the main system. And while he's out in the field, the other thing that the driver is going to do is he's going to actually complete the delivery on his mobile device. So let's take a look at that. All right, so when I come in here, I'm going to open the last document and I'm going to scroll down. And this one I'm not delivering because my warehouse manager let me know that the client is rescheduling. So right here in the product, I'm just going to choose not delivered. And then notice what happens right here in the delivered column. We can see that it's been altered and everything's been changed to 0 automatically because we did not deliver anything. Then I'm just going to come down here, type in my name. Notice it's setting the not delivered status. Throw an X in the signature box and submit. It's going to transmit back to the system and we should have our final updates. All right, and once we get back to the portal after Jason's completed his delivery, can refresh the portal, pull up Jason again. And now we see we have a not delivered status. And that's that one that Jason just went through and completed in the field after the client canceled. So from beginning to end, we walked through the view of the portal, the information that's available to the warehouse manager and managing team, the mobile delivery that happens in the field, the client communications, and the ability to update the system and communicate with the drivers from beginning to end. So that concludes the demo. If you'd like to know more, our contact information can be found in the notes section on this video. Thank you again for your interest in Smarter Proof of Delivery.